Welcome to As the Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome Nate and Justin from Red Arrow Highway to the podcast. Red Arrow Highway's new record, Be Someone Better, is out today on Self-Aware Records. The guys talk about discovering punk rock, how COVID lockdowns and a change in approach to songwriting led to Red Arrow Highway, the challenge to themselves that is Be Someone Better, why being in a band is meaningful, and more. There's a lot of fun and joy in this conversation, as you'll clearly hear right from the start. Be Someone Better is what I'd label adult punk, and you might align it closer to late 90s Midwest emo. I think this record really shines on the back half, and it was on the last few songs that it hit me that Red Arrow Highway had created something special, and I wanted to share it with you, the listeners. And so I hope you will make time to check out this album today. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of As the Story Grows. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. You can find links in our show notes or at asthestorygrows.com for our mailing list, our Discord server, and our Patreon page. And if you'd like what you hear, I would love it if you subscribe to the podcast on your podcast platform of choice. Enjoy today's conversation with Nate and Justin from Red Arrow Highway.
When did pop music get so goddamn algorithmic? An album made of blood boiled down to a song on a playlist. It's weighted blankets keeping us complacent. No point to patience.
Sorry, we're showing each other memes.
All good.
How you doing, Brian?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Yeah.
I'm Justin, by the way. This is Nate.
Nice.
I'm Nate. He's Justin.
Sounds great.
Good. Also, how do we sound?
You sound like champs. Your setup is quite impressive. It's very good. Very professional.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's our space.
It's actually a background. It's like a
Just a Zoom background. Just
Yeah, we're in a shed right now.
when you move it, like,
we went on AI and we're like, how will we look cool on a podcast? Make us a background.
make us a cool background. Oh man.
And see, Justin, Brian has a RE20. We
Yeah.
were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where everybody's going.
I worked for an audiobook company many years ago, and this microphone was going to go in the trash. They were just like, well, we're not using it. So, and I was like, well, can I have it? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, done.
What the fuck, man?
That's awesome. You
Like
got
a
any
tax
more?
write-off? Like,
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take that because that's why, who decided we were going to throw this away? Somebody did not know what they were doing.
Well, it's just easier, I think, sometimes and to write off that depreciation. I mean, like the stuff you got from a church. I feel like that's where you get the.
Don't get started on depreciation. He works in finance stuff.
I don't work in finance.
I know. It seems like you do.
Anyways. My point was there's the same thing with like churches where they're just like, yeah, it's like easier just to give this shit away than to actually think about how to resell it or to put it out there. Like, yeah, we have this $10,000 piece of equipment we bought 2 years ago, but we'll just keep on tithing from people. And so
yeah, we have
this
free money.
money's not real for us.
Yep.
God will provide.
Yep. And then some people are lucky. Yeah. There is a church down the road, and they always have like yard sales, and you just drive by and it's like there are guitars out there. I should stop and see what's going on.
Yeah,
absolutely. I went to buy an amp yesterday at one of those mega churches.
Oh yeah.
And I got in there and it was me alone with this dude. And I plugged in the amp, and I'm in a huge amphitheater. We're talking like 5,000 empty seats.
Okay.
And it was really surreal. And then I started playing, and one of the speakers was blown. I was like, this is, I don't know. I feel like I still have to buy it.
How does Jesus feel about this?
Yeah, exactly.
All of these people preaching his name with a blown speaker.
I know.
It's unfortunate.
So I did not buy it.
Nah, that's probably why.
Yeah.
You guys are up in Michigan. Where in Michigan?
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids? Okay.
Yep.
I wanted to say Grand Rapids, but your bio just says West, and I was like, that could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So we're all
we're trying to be vague.
Yeah,
on purpose.
Well, I like, because also just in any scene, right? You talk about kind of where you're from, and so and how that shapes the music. So we're all mostly originated on the west side of the state.
Okay.
So like I'm originally from Muskegon, which is on the lakeshore, and the drummer in our band, I've known him. We've been friends since like 7th grade, playing music and stuff. So like we're from Muskegon. Nate, you're from Fremont.
Fremont, in the middle of nowhere.
Dave's actually from the east side of the state. Well, now that I'm actually saying this out loud, I'm like, my rationale makes no sense. John's from North Carolina originally.
Yeah.
And Maddie's from, well, he was actually from Muskegon too.
Okay.
And then from other places, but
Nice.
yeah, but we're all based around Grand Rapids, pretty much.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Yeah, we're here now.
Yeah. It works. It works.
Yeah.
Sometimes people choose like the next or the closest big city as like that's the point of reference, and sometimes people are just like, I talked to someone the other day and they're just like, it just said England, and they're just like, yep, that's it.
yeah, that's where we're from.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
I think we're also still getting used to the fact that people know where Grand Rapids is. I feel like 20 years ago, you'd just be like, we're from Chicago. You know what I mean? Like it's,
Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. I mean, well, that's how it works now, right? It's like the suburbs of Detroit. Metro Detroit is like, could be an hour out, and everyone's like, yeah, we're from Detroit. I'm like, dude, you never really even been to actual Detroit proper. Like,
yeah. Where are you at, Brian?
I'm just outside Washington, D.C.
Okay. Nice.
Cool.
Yep. But my mom's from Michigan, and so like my grandparents are from there. My grandmother was Miss Michigan a lot of years ago, and so
Miss Michigan.
Yeah, that's how she
right.
met my grandfather, because he was a judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't dig into that.
Yeah, we're not gonna touch that at all.
But yeah, you got some pedigree, man.
Yeah.
So where were your mom and grandparents from in Michigan?
My mom grew up Saugatuck.
Okay. I was just in Saugatuck last weekend.
Yeah.
We rented a house with a bunch of friends. That's like 40 minutes southwest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At times. So let's talk about music. What got each of you into music, and maybe specifically like punk?
I'll let Justin go first on that. I don't know.
I think I'm one of the ones who got Nate into punk to some
Yeah, that is
degree,
true. I come from like an indie folk kind of genre area. Although I've loved fast and loud. I just never had a band that wanted to play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that was kind of what it was like for me, because I grew up, like, I've always loved music. I had an older brother. You're always trying to chase after them. You're like, oh, what are they into? That's cool, But and then I met a friend who had older brothers, and so got super into like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Megadeth, listened to a lot of that. And then at some point, you listen to all these records, and then you start to hear these songs that are like faster, and you're like, oh, like you just feel yourself gravitating towards those faster songs. And then I think it was probably, there's a couple different ways I probably got into punk, but I do viscerally remember like picking up, like we were somewhere, some of those seaside towns like Saugatuck or something, and we went to this record store. I picked up a Pennywise tape, and I was like, wait, these guys everything's just fast as fuck the whole time. I'm like, this is a thing. I'm like, this is what I need. This is what I need to be into. And then started listening to that. And then I think one of the other things that kind of just rearranged my brain was the first time I heard a band called Strung Out, who was, that like I was listening to like No Effects, and I remember I loved that Destruction by Definition, that Suicide Machine record. But the first time I heard Strung Out and then got into them, and then I remember the first time I heard Too Close to See off Twisted by Design. It was like I remember actually Jason, the guy who plays guitar plays drums for us right now, he got that delivered in the mail. We walked home from high school and like put that CD in the little little boom box with like the flip top CD player, put that record in, and that song just started, and it was like my life has changed now. Nice. This is just the music for me. And then, we started playing and he got a drum set, and we started playing in bands, and we were in a band in high school. We started playing around like 8th or 9th grade, and we were in different iterations of us playing together. And since then it's just been, that's all I've really wanted to listen to, and it just, gravitate towards that. And I started playing in bands, and then you realize that there's this whole scene around this, and there's just all these like-minded people who, in my experience, for like 99% of the people I've met through playing music or listening to music, are good fucking people.
Yeah.
and there's this camaraderie and the sense of community, and it's always just meant a lot to me. And so that's why I've always just, like gravitate towards that. And it came out in the music that I write and the way I play guitar. It's just all a reflection on that. So,
yeah, I was just thinking that it's not true that I haven't been in harder rock genres. I was in a rapcore band, my only other semi-successful band ever.
Nice.
And
I didn't know Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, we were great. We had a DJ and everything.
Oh man!
And and we would play with these other bands that were just hardcore. One of them was called Sadomasochism. I remember we played with them a lot, and they sounded exactly like that band name lends you to believe. So I was in that world for a really long time, and then that band broke up, and I kind of came out the other side of it and started listening to like. I went down a folk rabbit hole for about 10 years, and then kind of got into indie rock, and then moved a little bit further and a little bit further. And then I met Justin, and we started Monkey Robot War, which is what would you call that genre wise?
I mean, I think it's always hard to describe that, but I mean, it's punk. I
guess so.
Yeah.
But I got to sing over it instead of screaming. You know what I mean? And I like that meld. And I was like, oh, you can do that. I always thought if you were going to be in a metal band, you had to scream the whole time or scream at all, which I just can't. I physically can't do it. I don't think. I've tried, even when I'm like really mad. I think do it.
If I'm being fair, I think that I would gravitate towards calling that band punk if you weren't singing.
Okay.
I feel like that is the thing that maybe made it drift away from that label.
I'm glad I'm finding out now that I ruined your punk cred.
No, I mean I thought it was cool.
Okay.
I mean, other people probably talk bad about us because of it, but I was fine with it.
Good.
You can't control what other think of your band.
That's true.
If you dig the music, then whatever, right? Like
that's the whole fucking point, man.
Yeah.
Right. It's got to bring you joy. If people don't get it, fuck them, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Red Arrow Highway press release says you guys started this in 2020. I imagine this is like COVID Zoom calls, like we got to do something like once we finally get out of our house.
Yep. Justin was losing his mind. Monkey Robot War had ended.
Yeah.
And we were sitting in our houses. What you're seeing here is a recording studio at my house. So I kept just playing music and recording and stuff, but I was just by myself. So Justin just started sending me full-blown songs that just didn't have vocals on them.
Yeah, because I basically was in that. I'm like, I'm not leaving my house. It was overnight. I going into the office turned into working from home, and I had no social contact. And I'm like, and the band just kind of dissolved that we were in, and music's just something that I need to have that outlet into my life. And so it's like, I'll buy like an interface and I'll try to figure this out. And so I started writing. I'm like, I started writing some songs. And with a completely open mind of like, I'm not writing this for anybody. And oftentimes it turned into me just, cracking a beer and then, going Friday night and just drinking. And I'm like, yeah, I'll put 4 guitar parts on this. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're never going to play it.
I have a MIDI controller, violins. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, I started just making these songs and I'm like, no one's ever going to hear this, but it gives me some sort of outlet. And then, I sent a couple things to Nate. I was like, Nate, I've been doing some of this. Like, what do you think about it? And then,
yeah, I remember getting them and I was like, oh, this is like, it's like grown-up person music. like it really, like it was
I don't know how to feel about that, but
it's a compliment. Trust me, it's a compliment. It was like it was a step up from the Monkey Robot War songs for sure. They're just a little more complicated and really fun to write vocals over. So I started doing that, and then by the end of COVID, we had a whole album.
Yeah, we started going in, and it was just he and I. So like I would program the MIDI drums, and then do the bass, and then do different MIDI instruments, and then do all the guitars, and then generally I'd be like, okay, I have this like verse chorus idea. I'd send it to Nate. He'd do some vocals, and I'd be like, oh well, I like this part. Nate also has a tendency to he would write these amazing like hooks over like a bridge or something, and I'd be like, Nate, no, this is the chorus. And so I would move stuff around, and then we go back and forth, and then and mess with the arrangement and stuff, and then we end up with songs that didn't that matured over that time of they'd start one way and then end up being not completely different, but much more realized towards the end. And so we went back and forth, and then at one point we're like, we have 10 songs. Like, nice. Should we just put out like an album? And so we did that, and we talked to through a friend of a friend. We were connected with a guy named Will Beasley. He lives in Richmond, Virginia, and we sent him all of our stuff, and he just mixed it all down. And then we actually used he connected with one of our friends, this guy named, and I feel terrible, I don't know Clayton's last name, but his name is Clayton. And I
think he just goes by Clayton. Yeah, he doesn't have a last name.
Sting, Clayton. I feel like you could do that with a name like Clayton. Mm-hmm. But so he did the studio drums, because I just I'd done this in MIDI, and I'm like, so he recorded studio drums. It was very cool. They like connect us right into the soundboard. Like, we didn't have a video feed, but Nate and I just actually sat in here on the couch and like listen to them go through the tracks, and we'd be like, actually, this part you should try this, or this part you should try this. And I was texting him, and then we could hear him talk. Yeah. And so then they did the drums, then he mixed it all down, and then that was how our first record came about.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. We never really thought it was gonna. I never even thought we were gonna put it out while we were making it. That was part of the beauty of it, the freedom of, I can try whatever I want. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's just Justin that's going to pick on me about it. But then it turned out some of those songs are my favorite songs we've ever written. Nice. Then I'm just going to keep going through the timeline, if that's okay.
Yeah.
But then we decided that we wanted to play them live. Or how did that come about?
That actually was, so our good friend Dave, who plays bass in the band now and does backing vocals and does also helps us a lot with the writing and stuff. Like he had just moved from the west side of the state. Like I've known him since like college. But he was living over in Bay City, and then he moved back, and he's like, guys, I really want to play bass with some guys. Like, and these songs are awesome. Like, why don't we start playing live? And I'm like, okay, so I maybe drank too much while I was writing these songs, and so most of these songs have like 4 guitar parts. There's like organs.
Good luck remembering them.
I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna do this. And so I was like, we need to have at least like 3 guitar players and keys on top of bass and drums and vocals, and thankfully our friends were like, oh dude, we'll play with you guys. And so we just
we're a big band now.
There's 6 of us now. But part of me was like, if I just say this, he'll leave me alone, because like now he's gonna be like, that's silly.
Yeah,
but everyone was like, no, that's fine. I'm like, okay, cool. And so then we started playing, started learning those songs. Nate is making fun of me, but I will just be 100% honest. I'll be like, I forgot what I played on some of those songs.
Yeah, we had to relearn them.
I had to relearn them. Thanks again, Dave. Dave was like, this is what you're playing. I'm like, that's what I was fucking playing. I don't know. Okay, but so...
Yeah, Dave's one of those musical guys that he gets like all the math behind it. Yeah. So he'll be like, oh, you're playing an A, you're probably playing it, whatever the next note is. And it's amazing. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah, because I had to
actually, John's a little bit like that too.
John's closeted. He understands the theory behind it. Dave just has a really good ear, where we had to rely on him a little bit. I'm like, Dave, like, I don't remember what I was playing, because I have no like musical theory background, and so I'm just like, oh, like this note that's like this higher part, I'm just gonna keep that and change the root. And I'm like, I don't know what chord this is, but I'm gonna figure it. And it sounds good to me. And and even the MIDI parts, it's like I didn't know what notes, where the notes were on the keyboard. I'm just like by ear, I'm like, this is good. And so then learning, it's like, well, why would you play these notes over this? I'm like, I don't fucking know, man, but like I feel like it sounds good. I know. And so that's how a lot of those songs came about. And then Dave helped us learn them, and then as a band, we like learned them, and they just took on like a whole new life, being like in a live setting with just with 3 guitars and everything. Like they were bigger, and
everybody took their part and made it their own a little bit as well. Which people are just naturally going to do. And then we started writing record number 2, which is one that's coming out very soon. And that one, just having in mind that, we're going to play this live, we can write bigger. And like, I know that I have 2 people that can sing backup vocals for me now, so I can write all those parts as well. And I just know it's going to sound big. It's awesome. It's this really cool evolution.
Yeah. And I was just like, I can put even more keys and stuff on this, because no one said shit about the last one. This is fine. So we just continue. So we kind of continue the same evolution of writing, but then seeing those songs realized with all of us, and then playing those songs live. I mean, we have one of the songs that we play live. Basically, we've been playing live for a very long time. Isn't even on the record. It's we recorded it, and it's planned to be like a B-side eventually. Okay. But so it's recorded, but it's just that evolution of like, we would learn songs as we were writing them before we even finalized the record and stuff. So it was it was really cool. Yeah,
it's a different kind of way that I've ever been in a band. Usually it's a bunch of dudes get in a garage or basement or something, and then everybody just sits there hammering things out, and it takes forever. And I don't know, it's never worked out that well for me. Too many heads in a room. And so to have Justin doing the bulk of the composing, then sending it over to me, and then everybody gets their parts and they get to go crazy with it. It's a very efficient way to write music, I think.
I never even thought that would be an option. Just technology, like the advancement of the, like, we write all of our stuff just in Logic. And so, I have a file, and I'm like, here, it's on the drive. It's on the Google Drive. And then Nate picks it up and then puts vocals on it, and then sends it back. And then I take it, and then I will mess it. And then it's insane that was even an option. Like, right. Yeah. Like I never would have thought that you could write music anyway, besides in the garage in like sub-zero weather, freaking with a space heater, like trying to be like, what about that? Let's go over that part again. Just hit the daka instead of like dika. There's always let's do that again.
There's a time limit on how long before the drummer's too drunk to write anything.
or trying to communicate over the drummer playing
constantly,
to try to be like, hey, what if we try this going here instead?
And he's doing his paradiddles.
Turns out you can just do shit in your living room.
It's amazing.
Beer and it's warm. I don't
know. Definitely a revolution in songwriting and collaboration. Mm-hmm. You called this real adult music. When I listen to it, I go to like adult contemporary punk rock, or like in some ways it reminds me of like that 90s Midwest emo sound in a lot of ways, which is stuff I gravitate towards anyways. So like, when you were like locked down, were there things you were trying to write, or is this just like what came out of you?
Musically or lyrically?
Musically.
Okay.
So I would say, I mean, it's probably not a huge stretch from how I wrote before, but I think there was, and this kind of started with Monkey Robot War, but I had an epiphany with for whatever reason. I don't know why this pushed it on me, but the Tom Petty song Free Fallin', I'm like, this fucking song is the same 3 chords throughout the whole thing,
but it rules,
and it's amazing. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do that. Like, I don't have to care about like that there's gonna be different parts, and there's gonna be, you gotta add stuff in, or else all your friends are gonna be like, this is bullshit music, or people are gonna, whatever, like it's gonna be a thing that I feel like you worry. I mean, let's be real. Whether you're making the music for yourself or not, like you care what other people think, and like everyone's got an ego like that, and you don't want to, and so I always, I was in bands before that would have, 15 different parts in a 4-minute song, and they wouldn't repeat themselves. And I'm like, and it's like, there was something like some cred for that, the technicality of it. Yeah. And then I just kind of had this opinion. I'm like, fuck that. I don't care. Like I can write the same 3 chords over. And so that was kind of what was going through my head of doing that, trying to add some instrumentation that maybe like bringing in piano parts and stuff that added that different melody, and really just trying to, and then also just like, I really wanted to have this idea of just big choruses, just the kind of almost like the 90s kind of grunge idea of like having like these, the quieter verses and then the big choruses. And that was, I think, really what I focused in. Obviously all the music.
Dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. We call it dynamics.
Thank you, Nate.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
You reminded me of, do you remember we were playing a show and a dude in the crowd yelled out, "Play a minor chord."
I do not remember that.
The guy, I know him and he's a douche. So.
Oh, okay. Now I feel bad. There's got to be at least one minor chord in one of our songs.
You get in there.
But yeah, so that was kind of the impetus behind, right? Obviously, everything I listen to and all the music that I love is gonna, anybody who writes music, it comes out whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
If you listen to, like, if you know what I listen to, you'd be like, oh, this
that makes sense.
This shit's derivative of all this other stuff. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's all kind of, it's part of just writing music, right? Yeah. Your influences are going to come out on your sleeve. But besides that, it was just, hey, you can write simplistic songs with big hooks and just try to make them as big as possible musically and vocally with the melodies as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I get every once in a while somebody will say, they'll come up after a show and they'll be like, I really liked your band. I love Bright Eyes. Like I get that all the time because I'm a huge fan and I listen to Bright Eyes constantly and Desperacidos and all the side projects and everything. And I think I'm articulating or hitting syllables the way that he does or something. Mm-hmm. And it is weird. Like I'm now actively trying not to do it.
I don't think you can help it. Like I said, your influence is going to be.
But I do love. I mean, I love it at the same time. It's just you can't hide from your influences, I guess.
Yeah, no, you cannot.
Even my rapcore stuff's in there a little bit. Just kidding. It's not.
Tell me what songs we're going to take those off.
Call the label.
We're done.
Stop the vinyl.
Yeah.
Album's called Be Someone Better. Where'd that title come from? And does that kind of have any, like, does that capture the lyrical vibe running throughout the record?
I think so. In that, I was thinking about this earlier today. I think lyrically for this one, I was really trying to tackle some mental issues. I mean, I'm sure that's what everybody's doing, but and I did have a therapist for a long time that I stopped going to, and I was just like, well, I'm just gonna start digesting these through lyrics, mm-hmm. And I Be Someone Better just kind of came out as free therapy for me. Mm-hmm. It's been really helpful. I'm not sure exactly how to phrase it.
Well, the literally the title came out of the last song on the record called Better Things.
Better Things.
And that to me, I think this sounds weird. But I was the one who suggested it. I was like, because that to me is when I heard it, it's just don't you want to be someone better? We could all be someone better.
Yeah.
And to me, that resonated with me very strongly in the sense that, as I get older, I think that's all I personally am trying to do is to be someone better. And to me, that's I feel like this is thankfully becoming a more prominent statement in people are thinking about this more. But I strongly believe it's like the only thing you need to do that we should all be doing is just trying to be kind, man. Just be fucking kind to people. All this other shit will go away. Look at other people, what they're going through. Try to be empathetic and try to be someone better. Like try to be the best version of yourself you can be. I'm not fucking there by a wide margin.
Yeah, really long shot.
Well, that's
lest anybody think I'm telling them to be better. That is a note to myself.
Yeah,
you can be someone better. You could start now, be someone better. So, yeah, every time we sing that song, I get a little kick in my own ass, which is nice.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I think it's something we all struggle. I mean, we're just at our ages. Nate's a stepfather. I think you try. I'm just going to talk for you. I think you are an amazing stepfather.
Oh, thanks.
I think you try to set a good example, and you care a lot about setting a good example for those girls.
Yeah,
those two twin girls. We're about to go off to college.
Yeah, 18 now, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But so Nate, being his friend for a long time, he talks about it all the time, and just like how he's like, I want them to have a good example and to look at men in a certain light and just people in general of what to aspire to be. And I see you try so hard at that. And I think that comes out in some of the words of you thinking about that. And I think all of us are trying to be, right? You get to a certain age and you become more of
and feeling like you're a constant failure.
Oh yeah.
No matter how hard you try, you feel like a failure all the time. And I feel like if you don't feel like a failure, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, and parenting is like the biggest way you see that, where it's just like, I could have done that better, differently.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I fucked that up so bad.
Oh man. Yeah, and you go. I feel like everybody always goes in with good intentions. Like, it's very rare for a person to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go mess up somebody's day right now. So you go in thinking you're doing a good thing, and then it turns out you just didn't think it through.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in there. This last album especially was the kids were getting older and just settling into family life over here, and there's a lot of that in there. There's I touch on it a lot. God, there's that one lyric. I watch my kids grow older in the picture frames on my desk. That one.
Problem solved.
Yeah, there's a song called it's not out yet, so nobody's gonna know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, thank you.
Nice.
But yeah, that one got me. And every time I hear that song, I'm like, I'm leaving work. I'm gonna go and figure out what these girls are up to.
Yeah.
A funny story about that. Our good friend Will Beasley also mixed this record, and so I get a text randomly one day when he was doing like the first round of mixes, and he's like, hey man, I hope everything's okay with Nate.
Oh man,
I feel really. I was like,
it gets dark.
Yeah, I started. I was like, this isn't like autobiographical. It's more conjecture about I was like, but Will's just a very sweet man, and so he was very concerned. He's like, it's an awesome song. He's like, but I just want to make sure Nate's okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I was when I wrote that, but doing better now. Every day.
I told him you're okay, so it's
good.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
What was the inspiration for the cover art? Cover photo.
The first album was Justin as a little kid.
Yep.
And then, not to be outdone, I wanted one with me on it, and so the album cover is me and my sister.
Nice.
As little kids.
Yeah, it was. So the first album was just. It was literally. I think we were getting ready to start thinking about releasing it and like what we're gonna do for album art. And my mom she was digging around the house and like found some old pictures and just shared it. And I found that picture. And I'm like, this is just like the composition of it and everything. I'm like, this would be a great like photo for an album cover. And we ended up making it that. And then that became when we started going. This one was like, well, should we keep with that theme and that, this is us growing, and I think there's something that connects there. But so we were just like, oh, let's look at pictures of Does anybody have pictures of themselves of children? It seems weird to say that out loud, but that's what we kind of like.
Justin's talking about children.
We were like, there any good photos like this? And then we all had a bunch, and then we, at least for me, I think all of us, when we saw that picture that ended up being the cover art, it was like, absolutely, like we already knew the title of the album. I was like, this is it, like without a doubt. And,
Also, for me, it'd be someone better. I think you're a purist at like 5 years old, when that picture was taken, and it's just a reminder, go backwards to look forwards, kind of thing. Yeah. But now we have to make at least 6 albums. We're realizing
no one wants to see Jason as a kid.
Yeah, that's true. 5 albums, 5 is fine.
Comes out March 20th. You guys have a handful of shows because everyone's got older, got jobs, got kids, got families. What?
And there's 6 of us.
Yeah,
right.
It's so hard. We have a hard time even practicing.
It's a lot to coordinate. Like, is your hope to try to get out and do some sort of run and tour outside of Michigan, or is it just like happy to have the record out and play shows as they come locally and just like enjoy the ride and where it's at?
We talk about it. We do talk about it sometimes. It stresses me.
Yeah,
out.
Nate is the most grumpy of us, so I don't want him to answer this question. We 100% want to do that. It's just coordinating schedules. Yeah. So I mean, our plan is to at least do. I mean, we're in a pretty good location that if we wanted to go, through Chicago up through Milwaukee. I mean, maybe over Minneapolis. Like we could do at least a short run. It's unfortunate. The reality is that like. Maybe a week is tops for us. Yeah. And so we absolutely do want to get on the road. I'd love to be able to play other places, meet other people. It's just the like practicality of us being able to do it. Yeah. So, I mean, if anyone hears this podcast and is around our area and would love for us to come out around, we would,
we'll play.
We're open to it. It's just making stuff work. Yeah.
I think I'm nervous about it because I've never done it before. Being in a van with you guys, it just seems.
Dude, you've spent way more time than me. Than we put in a van. There have been days that we've been cooped up together.
Yeah,
and you survived it.
You know what? I am looking forward to it. I just got to retrain my brain. And get excited about it.
We'll just like give you gummies and give you a sleep mask.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a different animal when you're. In your 40s as opposed to when you're 18 and 21, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I need somewhere comfy to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I mean, we don't think about it. It's really not like a financial thing for us in the sense that like it would be like we would realize it'd be a vacation. I mean, especially also just the way that the music business is going right now. I mean, we know how it is. Getting $100 for playing a show is very difficult for us, to be able to fund anything like that. But it would be worth it. I mean, this is all of this is self-funded to an extent. So I mean, we would be willing to do it. So that's not what's holding us back. It's just I'm one of the few people in the band that doesn't have children. So and my wife is amazing. So she's like, yeah, you can go do that. Yeah. But other people, obviously, they have other priorities. It's like, I have 2 toddlers. Really? Like, I'm gonna go for a week and go do this thing where we play in shitty dive bars.
We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Hang out. Yeah, right.
I get it.
Would not go over well. Yeah. And I'm sure, like, I talked to someone earlier today about like minor musical victories. It's like that a label picked up the album and is releasing it on vinyls. Like, it's just fucking huge, right?
Oh, it's the biggest deal ever for us.
Yeah, it is. It is a very, very big deal. It's a level of validation. I mean, because for me, going back to when we started doing this and started writing those songs, and then sending them to Nate, and us having no inclination or expectation that we were going to play them live or do anything. We put that first record out. In my sole reasoning behind it was just I was proud of it. And if I could be a part of music that maybe made someone feel something or had that connection to it, maybe even helped them through something, that's all I wanted. I want people to hear this thing that fill a void inside of me, and maybe, it would fill a void inside of them or make them feel something. And that's all it's ever been about for me personally. And so the idea that somebody else would hear this and believe in it enough to want to put it out and allow us to potentially put it in the ears of other people. And hopefully, I'm not delusional. A lot of people probably hear and be like, whatever, this is fun. This is whatever. But but some people might be like, I think this record's great. And maybe it makes me feel something. And that's all, if this allows us to have, more people feel that or get exposed to it. I mean, that's the whole point for me. And so it is beyond like a big milestone for me personally, that this would maybe allow us to do that.
It's a huge validation. Yeah, we're all like, none of us are trying to be musicians full time, so we have the luxury of we don't have to put all our eggs in that basket. You know what I mean? Which is really nice.
But there's still like, yes, I agree with that part of it. But it's still, but it almost makes it like harder in some ways, because it's like we all have these, and like we still pursue and put so much time into this and so much. I mean, because there's a part of me like I can never just not do this. Like this is just something. It's inside it. Like it's in me. Like it has to come out. There has to be a creative outlet. I actually I feel like I'm gonna tell the story, but like there was a point when I'd played in bands, in high school and college and things like that. And then I graduated college, and then my wife and I moved in together. We weren't married at the time, but we moved in together. And it had been like a couple of years since I was in a band. And then Nate and I, when we first got together and we started playing music, and then Monkey Robot War started happening, my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, was like, "Hey man," and we've known each other for a very long time. She's like,
high school sweethearts.
Right? High school sweethearts. And she, after all that time, she's like, if you ever want us to really work, you can never not be in a band. She's like, you are a miserable piece of shit when you're not doing this. And I've just seen your whole outlook, your whole demeanor just completely change once you started playing in a band. And I was like, oh man. And then I think I went and bought like a ring like the next week, and I was like,
"You're the one."
Yeah, I was like, "This is the one." This woman is amazing, but she got it, and it's true, and I feel all of us feel that way. Yeah. It's not something you can avoid. It's
You never got me a ring.
We have to do it. What was that?
You never got me a ring.
Oh, sorry. It's fun, bud.
I feel like music's just been there since I was 15 years old, and I just can't imagine life without it.
Nothing fills that void, man.
Even if I like get a cold for a month, or actually I just got a cold for like 2 months.
Yeah, you get a cold a lot.
God, and it was just awful. I couldn't sing. And I did. I got grumpy. I don't know. I couldn't play music. Nobody wanted to be around me.